Hey, Tracy. That's Tracy McGrady joining us on the podcast this week. Tracy, thanks for doing this. Thanks for joining us. How are you doing?
Doing well, man. How about yourself?
Oh, just getting by. That's my standard response since the pandemic started.
Just getting by, huh? But you're getting
But
by.
yeah, I'm getting by. That's all that matters. I'm not as busy as you. I mean, you just launched the whole league from scratch, the Ones Basketball League, right? We're doing this on Thursday, May the 4th, and you had your first event in Houston, I believe, right? And how did all that go for the first time around?
Honestly, brother, it exceeded my expectations, to be honest with you. I couldn't be more pleased and proud of, what I witnessed this past weekend in Houston. From the model of One's Basketball League, from the venue, the production, I mean, the competition, it was great, man. I was sitting there Sunday like, wow, we did it. And that was only the first season. And usually, a lot of things you gotta, kind of iron out moving forward. But it's some minor things we have to change. But overall, I mean, I thought it was fantastic.
Well, that's the thing I want to get into with you. I mean, you just launched this, and I want to know what made you want to start a league, especially a one-on-one league. Like, can you tell me about how this was conceived and how you went about kind of starting it from the ground up?
Yeah. So, I mean, I have two sons of my own, 16 and 13, and I have an AAU program. So I got a lot of my information from, my sons and my AAU guys. And that is, these kids don't watch NBA basketball. They don't watch NCAA. Like, they just don't have the attention span to sit down and watch a 2.5, 3 hour live sporting event. So I walk around AAU gyms and get asked all the time about one-on-one basketball. Like, who's better at one-on-one, you or Kobe, or you or KD, or you or Bron? Like, I'm always thrown in there and always getting asked. Even on social media, people always making pages with that. And going back to my kids, they really enjoy YouTube highlights. And it's these kids that go around from playground to playground playing pickup ball. And from the 4-on-4 on 5-on-5, which they play, always end up turning up into a one-on-one because two guys get to join at each other and it turns into one-on-one and everybody moves out the way. And the energy around these parks was crazy. And I was like, hold up. And me knowing like there are underground leagues around here in some states, I know the level of basketball that is just in every neighborhood that, I think people need to be conscious of in terms of the skill level. Everybody can't make it to the NBA. Everybody can't go across seas or don't want to go overseas. So I wanted to create a platform for those guys that still can play at a high level of basketball, still have a love for the game of basketball, but also give them guys a second chance at fulfilling their dream, really. And this is the platform that I'm creating for these guys. And why not one-on-one basketball? It's a global sport. I mean, we sit here and watch tennis. We sit here and watch guys boxing, MMA. Basketball is a universal sport. It's global.
Yeah, and we all play one-on-one as kids, right? Growing up.
All played one-on-one as a kid. To me, I think it's the pure essence of basketball. Even in 5-on-5, there's one-on-one matchup. I just wanted to really, really try to rebrand what one-on-one basketball is, because I think people think it's street ball. It's so much more than that. So here we are, man. I really, really want to create stars out of my league. And that's why I'm doing that.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to say, so when you played one-on-one growing up, what were the rules for you? Because for me, it was best till 11, ones and twos. You got to take it back behind the 3-point line. What was it for you?
Same. So it was to 11 or 21, right? Or to 21. and it was make it, take it. Now, some places
Right.
call it different. Is winners out. I've never heard that. I was just hearing that this weekend. Like winners out. What the heck is right? I don't know what winners out is.
You got to. One's basketball league has official wording policy, right? Like it's make it, take it.
So we don't do make it, take it.
You don't?
No, I don't want make it, take it. Everybody has to play defense. Everybody has to play defense. So my league, the way it's structured, is there's a 12-second shot clock. So if you have possession, you have 12 seconds to score. If that 12 seconds run out, whether you shoot, miss, get your own rebound, you have 12 seconds and possession changes. So the model has been great, what we put together. But yeah, me playing one-on-one is always make it, take it.
I mean, I want to go back to, maybe I'm going to sound like one of the AAU kids at the gym who kept running up to you, but I just want to segue real quick. Who was the best one-on-one guy in the league while you were in the league?
Well, one of the guys
who would kill at this.
Yeah, Kobe. I mean, Kobe was a one-on-one player. That's who he was. You know what I mean? The skill level, the mentality, like everything about him was a one-on-one player. He's just an assassin and you know, destroying his opponent. That's what he was about. There's some guys in the league, like Kyrie Irving, to me, strikes me as would be a great one-on-one player because he has a high skill level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's incredible off the dribble, right? I don't know if you got to play defense, though. I don't know if that would work out for him a little bit.
Well, you know, I mean, that'd be tough on anybody. We're talking about some elite scoring. So regardless of how great you are defensively, there are always some guys that are out there with the offensive bag that is extremely deep to make it difficult for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, from the business perspective, how you were launching this, obviously during the pandemic, how difficult was it to make it work financially, to find the backing for it, to put the infrastructure in place?
Well, and in times in, you know, me doing business, I've always invested in other people's ideas and dreams. And I finally found something that is dear and, you know, close and that I'm passionate about. So this is all me investing in myself. There's no going outside looking for investors to start this thing up. This is me putting my own skin in the game to kick this off because I believe in it. I believe in the team that I hired to make me, you know, build this and be successful. So I think when you put your own skin in the game and you believe in it, I think that gives, you know, potential investors confidence that, you know, you're onto something. And when you invest in yourself, so no outside investors to start it. It's all me this first season.
Wow. So you're self-funding this thing.
I'm self-funding, bro.
You don't see that very often. Usually you get some investor capital, you bring somebody in to kind of like be the money guy behind your ideas.
But for sure. But that's how much I believe in the product that we're putting out there and what we're building. So, and it's a lot that goes into that with me funding this, right? And I think, you know, me being a visionary for this, and then having, you know, a team that structure that I put together to be able to get this off the ground, all the logistics and all the back end work that, you know, goes into this. I think I have put together one hell of a team, and I don't see how we will lose.
How much has year one cost you so far?
It costs a nice chunk of change. A nice chunk of change. I'm going deep into the pockets, but that's okay because I believe in it. My team believes in it, and I think at the end of the day, that's what it's really all about. I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I think this is something that the consumers and the fans will love to watch. It's very entertaining. And I got my answer last Sunday when I was sitting down watching these games. My wife doesn't watch sports at all. She was there and she didn't want to leave. And that was pretty much everybody's feedback, that they wanted more. They left with wanting more. And when you get that type of feedback, then you know you're onto something. So you just got to keep building. We're right there.
So when you're putting this league together, like, and from the ground up, from the format to the rules of the game itself, are you building this with the thought of getting this on TV and making it TV friendly? Are you building this with the thought of making it, let's make this for social, let's make this something that can click on, TikTok or Instagram or Twitter? Like, how are you thinking of it conceptually like that?
So initially in the beginning, yes, we were thinking about doing this for social, but you just don't know which way the wind is going to blow. Now we're talking about getting this thing on primetime TV based off of what we saw last Sunday. So social and primetime TV is where we headed.
Have you had talks with any kind of either streaming networks or TV channels about getting it on TV?
Absolutely. We have talks with plenty of those streaming partners, local televisions, talking to Showtime to get on their platform. Slam Magazine is a partner of ours. So there's been lots of talk, whether it's streaming partners, whether it's live television. So yeah.
I assume, did you get kind of a proof of concept that some kind of secondary, like something that is not the NBA, can work from the big three? Like, did that mean anything for you in terms of, thinking whether your vision can work, whether another league that's not the NBA can work, and people will consume it and watch it and go to it?
Yeah. Did Big Three having some success have anything to do with, me starting my league? Yeah, absolutely. But also, it's basketball, right? And we all grew up playing one-on-one basketball. And for the life of me, I just never understood why there was never a one-on-one basketball league. I just don't know why, because that's where you can display your true skill set, right? And I just think there's a lot of guys that have an elite skill set that can't play on the NBA level for whatever reason. Like they have to have the ball, or they like systems that they go to, they can't play in certain systems. And I just think, having a platform where it's just you by yourself, being able to, be who you are as a basketball player, display that skill set where you don't have no coaches, giving you a role that is out of, what your training is. I just thought it was perfect, right? And to be able to take this globally, and what we could do with, this league, once we identified a model North America, and being able to take this and license this on a global level to identify who the ruler of the court, in other countries, and then bring that all together. This is like so much flexibility in what we could do with this that the NBA can't do, other leagues can't do. We could do it.
Yeah, I see you smiling right now as you're thinking about kind of the global potential for, like, I see you explaining, like, we can take this global, and I see the smile on your face as you're like, oh yeah, this could be really nice.
Yeah, think about it. Basketball, like I said, it's a global sport. You look at all the kids around the world just picking up a basketball and playing. And then you create a platform to where, guys that don't make it to these pro leagues can jump in and be a talent and a character, right? Be a character. And if you're really good in this one's league, and you have this great personality, who knows what you can become? Look at the UFC guys. Look at Conor McGregor. Think if we had a guy in my league, right, that has that personality and becomes like a Conor McGregor, and he's really freaking good. Like that can very well happen in OBL. And that's what this league is all about.
Because you can play to the personality. You don't have to worry about a team and how that hits guys.
No, you could just be you. Be who you are. You could talk trash. We don't want you throwing chairs through buses and all that, but
no.
but like, you know, be who you are. If you're that wild, you know, loud talking, dirty to your opponent, be that guy. But you got to back it up.
What's it say to you though? Like you're saying that the kids, the teenagers, like your sons, like kids their age, and I sound so old. I'm 34 and I feel like talking about kids like this. What's it say that they're not watching the NBA? Like they're not watching full games? Like
It just says that, you know, they grew up in an era where they have a lot of distractions, all these devices, and just that type of content just doesn't resonate with them, right? It's all short form content, highlights that these guys, and I can't knock it. You know, they have so many other distractions and things that, you know, the social media, the TikTok, the quick, you know, videos and all this stuff that they gravitate towards. So this is something that I think I have found that can really pull them in to grab their attention. And this is a live sporting event that I think they appreciate. Giving what I saw this weekend and the feedback that I got from my kids and their friends, like it was so good that some of these kids are actually flying to Atlanta because they had so much fun watching these games. So I listen to the kids, man. They're going to tell you everything.
yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the thing for the league, for any sport right now, is they're trying to figure out how to reach teenagers, how to reach Gen Z and all them.
Well, think about it. NBA games, right? Even in the playoffs, if there's a game and it's a blowout, do you really want to sit there and watch a 25-point lead game? Like there's really no excitement in that. I don't want to watch it. Right?
Yeah,
I don't want to watch that.
I turned off Celtics Bucks.
Right. I didn't want to watch that. But what I'm bringing is short. Even if there is a blowout, 9-3, next game is starting. So every matchup, right, because it's one after another, and every matchup it brings a different level of intrigueness. So I'm satisfied. I'm happy with the where we're going with this, and I can only see this, you know, getting better, bigger and better, to where I think this will be on primetime TV, and a lot of people really appreciate the content that we're putting out there.
So, like, I find it really interesting that since your playing days, since you've been done playing, you kind of ventured into becoming an entrepreneur. So obviously you've got this basketball league, but you started your own sports agency a few years ago too, right? With 7-1 Sports. Why have you not wanted to be content, just kind of go in retirement, maybe talk on TV about sports and just living that life, and want to do something, you know, in all these different avenues?
Yeah. So I did TV for 4.5 years.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So I didn't want to make a living out of that. I wanted to give it a shot just to see if it was something that, you know, I could do. And I loved it. But 4.5 years, when you have kids traveling back and forth, you know, from Houston to LA, it was burning me out. Enjoyed every bit of it, but I thought that was enough time for me. And then just, I love challenges, man. You know, I just love challenging myself and learning from different people. And I can't go and sit on the beach for forever, you know, and have, you know, Mai Tais or whatever you do at the beach. I'll get bored with that. I got to get back to work, get back to, you know, learning and, you know, building.
Yeah. How has 7-1 Sports gone for you? I mean, you guys have been launched 2 years ago. How's it gone so far?
It's going well. It's going well. We had a bunch of NIL clients, and this year we have some guys that, you know, will be in the draft. So it's a challenge. It is a challenge because we're small fish in a big pond and just starting out. So, you know, dealing with families, dealing with AAU coaches, like it's all so overwhelming and just a lot. But all in all, I think what we give back to these kids, they'll appreciate, and really giving them great information so they can be successful in their careers.
Has anything surprised you about that? Because everyone says the agency business is kind of cutthroat. Has anything surprised you about?
It's definitely cutthroat. I mean, you can feel like you have a player in your pocket, but the last minute someone comes in and offers, a significant amount of money to take that player away from you.
You've been outbid.
I know. And there's really nothing you could do, right? I mean, because these guys
Name names, Tracy.
Nah, I don't name names, but that's how it is, man. That big fish is just coming. Now let me take him away from you. We got deeper pockets. So
let me and I know I don't want to go too far into this, but because I'm really curious about what it's like to jump into the agency business right away. Do you feel like to be successful for what you guys are doing so far, is it helpful to have a big name like that cuts through to people like Tracy McGrady, Jermaine O'Neal? Is it important to be able to build relationships, or is it just that big bankroll that can help you kind of really flourish and take off?
So I think it's personal. It's really personal preference. You know what I mean? Because some clients may look at it as, man, I get to have access 24/7 to Jermaine and T-Mac on, this basketball stuff and also on the business side. But then, you have those clients like, and I respect Mac and Jermaine, but I got to go over here and get this bag because they offered it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes one way or the other how they feel. But I think when you look at what, Jermaine and I are building, two guys that came out of high school, went on and had a, successful NBA career. And, he made 6 All-Stars. I made 7. Just the information and the knowledge that we got for playing in the league, I think we have, enough to give back to the up and coming generations. Also really helping their parents understand the business as well, teaching them along the way. So that's, in a nutshell, I think that's why we really got into it, to really guide and give these guys, the tools and information for them to be successful, not only on the court, but off the court as well. Because we're doing it. We're two guys that, had successful careers, but even after our career is over, look what we're doing now. And I think, just set an example for those guys. Like, look, man, we two guys that came out of high school and look what we're doing after our careers. That in itself, I think, adds value to what we're bringing to these kids.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, the one thing that I've been wondering about too is for the last year, obviously how NIL has impacted all this. Cause now, you can get in with the kid earlier. Right? I think you guys signed Drew Timme for NIL work. I don't know if you're representing him for the draft as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, is that an opportunity you feel like that has been good for you in terms of the NIL coming in?
I think it has been good because you can, establish that relationship early with those clients. And get your feet in the door pretty quick, right? And in terms of, knowing who they are, what they like, fill each other out. And then when that process comes up for them to make themselves eligible to go pro, you already have some rapport of what they're looking for. So you're kind of ahead of the curve a little bit, but it's still a challenge because they're still going to have, other meetings with other agencies that provide, some good information and good intel that, could sway them away from you.
I saw you, the One's basketball league is going to be in Chicago during the weekend of the draft combine. Any chance we get to see some of you pull some of those guys pull into the league, get Drew in there?
No.
Cross promotion.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
No. Let those guys live out their dream. We don't want to do that,
Yeah.
But, some of these guys down the road, if they don't, make it to the league or play 2 or 3 years in the league, come on to OBL, bro. We got something for you. We'll be established. We'll have some money in the league that we can take care of you to where you can have a good living.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that's it.
And listen, you win OBL, you don't have to split, your money with teammates. This is $250,000 on the line that's strictly for you.
And that's a big allure, right? Like $250K is a lot of money.
That's a lot of dough. Absolutely.
Well, listen, Tracy, I know you got to go. I appreciate you doing this and coming on to talk about the league and what you're doing now. The One's Basketball League, coming to Chicago May 21st and 22nd. You'll be in New York City last weekend of May, right? The DMV, Bay Area in June. And I know you got LA on the schedule too.
It's going to be a movie, bro. And by the time we get to New York, DMV, LA, the league should be rocking.
All right. Well, hopefully in like another year or two, you can come back on, tell us how it's gone global, what the TV rights deal is, really get into the nitty gritty of all the business details.
Sure. We'll love that.
All right. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir.